Hey guys, how you doing? Yep, so as I said, there'll be more streams kind of at the moment just because I'm the only person in the house, so it kind of gives me a little bit more free time. So yeah, extra stream for today. We're going to be continuing on Groom, as you'd expect, as you can probably expect for the next few weeks, to be honest. There's still quite a lot of grooming to be done. Just rendering the front view at the moment. I'll just finish rendering like a preview render of the front. Obviously there's quite a lot wrong with this at the moment, but at least it's starting to get there. In terms of what we'll be doing in this session, I want to get the braid kind of bun thing at the back just blocked out quickly, just because that's kind of the next thing in line to be set up. And then once that's done, hey Ian, how you doing? Yeah, once that braid bun is done, we've got all of the grooms in the scene, like everything that we're gonna need. So then it's just a case of tweaking, like more guide work, more maps, more everything really, just more hours in general. I am going to want to do some work on the eyebrows soon, I think, because they're really bothering me. It's like this bit on the inside, so it's like really quite horrible. So I need to fix that. It's gonna move my reference off screen. But yeah, so we got a fair chunk of work to do. I'll primarily be working on braids today, I think. But as always, if there's anything that people want me to go over or kind of focus on, because I've still got a lot I want to do anyway, just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. So I think before I do this stuff, I'm going to quickly turn the light. Somewhere like there. Let's just do a quick test render of back here as well. So I really want to see how the gaps and everything are looking. I know I've got too much noise on the braids on top of the head, so we will need to reduce that as well. This just a lot to do. Hopefully it doesn't take too long though. So I'm not reaching the burnout point on this project yet, but I can see it on the horizon. I can see myself getting tired of this project pretty soon. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to do more streams while Becca's away, is because it gives me, it's not the amount of hours I work on it, it's more just the length of time I've been working on it. If I reach like 3 months working on the same project, I'm pretty much dead. And we're fast approaching that amount of time. The gap between these still feels a lot, but technically the noise I've got is, the density I've got is pretty close to correct. So I'm a little bit worried about that, because in theory that would mean my width is too narrow, but my width looks about right visually. So maybe it's just something with the clumping. Maybe my clumping being so large and so tight is going to make it feel like it's lacking density. We also need to fix all the mess back here, because that's horrific. But yeah. So yeah, the first thing we're going to do is just quickly get this guy set up. Because then I'm pretty sure I'll be done in terms of like what needs setting up. I don't think there's any additional grooms I'll need to make. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. I'll also need to break up the line for this back hair as well. We need it to kind of do little circles around these guys, around the big clumps, I think. You can see how that looks. Yeah, so we're getting a good idea of how this stuff is doing. I'm kind of tempted to change the hair color as well, just to make it easier to see in renders like what's going on. Let's wait for this render to die. So let's select any one of these. So 0.7 melanin, we need to remember that. Let's go down to 0.35. And let's just put it in RenderMan viewport for now. Also down to my last bottle of Guinness. Today's a sad day. It's probably going to explode. I guarantee it's about to explode. Wasn't as bad as I expected. Sorted. Let's wait for this render to start itself so we can see, because I think working with black hair, obviously like her hair is actually very dark, like I would say it is pretty much black hair, but sometimes rendering wise it's a little bit harder to see what you're doing, so I'm going to switch to lighter. I technically could switch to grey. I don't know, we'll see. Shit, that's gonna crash. So my Maya's got this wonderful tendency of crashing whenever I move the camera during a render. Yeah, there we go. So we're just gonna have to get that back. Luckily we didn't actually do anything yet, so. So give us a minute to think about his choices. I think that's our earliest crash in terms of stream. 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. Come on, there we go. Copy groom. Hey Cozy, how you doing? Right, so let's try that again, shall we? So I'm just going to set up my panels. Render cam. And this one is our regular cam. I can hide these guys. And then let's select one of these guys. Xgen. Not Xgen actually. Attribute editor. Hair dark. Click into you. And set this down to like, I think it was 3.5 we had set. Typical yeah. Did it crash as you was already in the stream? Like you joined it as it had already crashed for the first time? That'd be pretty funny if that was the case. Right, I need to avoid using the scroll wheel. It's kind of a force of habit, like whenever I see a render, I'm like, oh, scroll wheel to zoom in. But obviously if it's a render viewport, then it's going to crash every time I do that. So I need to get out of the habit. So I need to turn the light as well. Render group. I think it was -90, right? So personally, I find that a lot easier to look at. Let's see what 0 melanin looks like. And then go forward. We can turn down transmission gain. So that's just diffuse hair. I definitely need those. That's 0.2 low. So I just need to find a nice value to play with. 3 is quite nice. What about 4? I think I quite like 3. That's just visually a bit easier to kind of look at for me. I wish there was a control for melanin redness, but sadly there isn't. Right, so let's get this guy started. And before I move anywhere, I'm gonna save an alt version of my scene. Joined in Maya crash, perfect. Faultless execution. Right, so I guess the first thing we need to do is check this model, make sure it's doing what I want. I'm going to try having it intersect with the head just slightly. I think that will help with the generation of stuff. I've just got a feeling it, like I haven't read up on documentation, which strictly speaking I should, but I've just got a feeling it will help with the generation of region maps. Because the guides are just going to snap to the nearest point on the mesh anyway, I'm not too worried about that. Let's pull that forward. Okay, and then I guess what we need to do now is I'm wondering if there's any areas of the braid where it's like getting really confusing to look at. It's like here it gets a little bit confusing, but there's not much we can do about that, to be honest. Maybe we can drag this section. Make that a little bit bigger. Just pull that in a little bit, just to make that a little bit less confusing to look at. I think that's as good as we're going to get, though. At least without spending like silly amounts of time. Let's just manually fix this area a little bit. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be visually kind of separated in some way, because they were just merging into one thing. There we go. That looks at least somewhat braided until you can't see it, which is good. All this stuff is fine. And where does it end? It ends in there, right? Yeah, that's good by me. So we need to separate these guys now. So let's go into select this braid bun. Just get the underscore. I'm going to do mesh separate. Then mass rename these. I'll add the numbers and then select those again. Search and replace names. I'm just going to replace dollar with underscore geo. There we go. So do you guys have anything you want me to discuss at all, or? There we go. History's deleted on all those. So let's show our grooms again. So we may have to do a little bit of recovery work here. Although I think I'd rather do that on the main braid itself, which is also going to need a lot of work. I just realised I've got that done. There we go. Yeah, we definitely need to fix the strays back here. They're getting a bit chaotic. Right, so XGen. I'm going to duplicate the ponytail for this. I think that'd be quicker than creating a new one from scratch. So let's go description, duplicate description. Save, sure. So we want to get braid ponytail. I want to rename that. No. Fuck. So let's delete that collection. I'll delete that description. Have we broken our scene? Let's close that and not save a single thing. Open. Do you think you'll at FKA twigs when this is done? Maybe I will, but I doubt she'll see it. I mean, I don't have Twitter, so that's a bit of an issue. Right, so we've got the eyebrows. Good, I thought I lost those then. So we're going to duplicate this description. Where are we? Duplicate description. Okay, I'm going to be super careful when I do it this time. Fur braids ponytail, and I want to call that fur braids bun. Or would it be not? That's not really a bun, is it? I'm just going to call it a bun. I don't know the correct term. I could Google it, but for this project, this doesn't matter. So, fur braids ponytail has been copied to fur braids bun. Duplicate. Cool. So let's go to fur braids bun. And what I'm going to do is just hide all the other descriptions, so I know what I'm seeing and I know what I'm supposed to see. So let's get, especially ponytail, because that's the one that's been duplicated. Let's just get all those. Okay, so fur braids bun. First thing we need to do is delete all the guides, and then change the name of this mask. So let's just go here and call that braids bun. Apply. I know it doesn't exist, that's fine. Do you think it's good to advertise and showcase your work more? Oh wait, I find it pretty hard to find you outside of Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I don't really push. I don't really mind, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with work and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not really in a mad push to do anything. I guess doing these YouTube streams is a way of getting more public. I have my own website, which has quite a lot of information on it. Yeah, my website gets about 2,000 views a month or something, which isn't massive, but it's enough to get, some people recognizing my name. Braid bun, mask, alright, cool. Let's flood that with 0. And then let's paint where these connect. But yeah, I don't really know where I could showcase my work, to be honest. I'm going to need to boost the resolution of this guy a little bit. 2048. Let's just erase that. Draw it again. There we go. Save as texture. Go over to XGen. Save the mask. Cool, there's no guides, which is what I expected. I don't think I have anything else mapped, right? Alright, so I need to generate guides now. So let's go into... Actually, we can just lock that and hide it. It's irrelevant to us now. Let's give myself a little bit more screen real estate as well. Right, so primitives, tube groom. Delete those guys. Then let's go into temp group, braid bun, select these guys, test guide spacing. Maybe we should have it visible. Okay, let's put that down to 0.25. I don't know why it's not displaying. Maybe I should have created it from scratch. Test. Let's just give that a go. If this really struggles a lot, then I may be forced just to create a groom from scratch, which isn't really a big deal. It's just a case of creating all the modifiers again. Although I could save a preset of the modifiers. Maybe it's actually generating region maps this time, which is why it's taking longer. Maybe intersection is what I needed the whole time. Shouldn't take this long, surely. I need to read up the documentation on tube-based grooming as well, because I don't know, like, you know, obviously cut param makes sense. It's probably just going to cut the guides by a set amount. Don't know why you do that though, unless it means cutting it from the root, in which case that could have real uses. CV frequency. Obviously that makes sense. Texels per unit, that makes sense. Guide mask, I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing. Like, I would need to read up on what that does. Obviously guide spacing makes sense as well. I guess the only thing I really need to read up on is the guide mask, because that one just doesn't make much sense. I also need to find out if there's a way to view the texels per unit, like actually preview it, because it says test, but I've never seen it actually do anything in the viewport. Like, if there's a way to preview your PTEX maps without having to go into a separate software to view them, because obviously you can just take them into Mudbox or Mari, but I'd rather just preview them in Maya. There should be a way to do that. I can't imagine Maya doesn't have a way to preview PTEX. Because that would save so much like debugging time on any kind of grooming, to be honest, with XGen. That PTEX resolution is a very mystical thing. Come on, Maya, you can do it. I believe in you, somewhat. So close. Come on, you can do it. 2%. Hey. Alright, so now let's hide that. Beautiful. Let's thin those out a fair bit, because I cannot see shit. Let's go to width, set to 0.2. And then let's rebuild it a little bit higher, because that doesn't seem overly high to me. Let's go to, is 80 gonna be enough? Forget about that. Edit, redo. May need to redo that. Let's see how it goes. I can just rebuild it to a lower count, but so it didn't actually generate a region map. This is what I'm so curious about, is like, can it actually generate a region map? Right, I'm going to delete that and do it again, but this time with different guide spacing. I'm also going to make the other grooms visible. So let's go into tube groom. I'm just going to set texels per unit on this a lot lower, so let's go 5. Guide spacing, wait, CV frequency, sorry. Let's go to 2. Generate. Should be a bit quicker this time. That looks a bit more promising. This is a nice slow stream today. Not intentionally, mind. There we go. Right, so we need to thin these out, because holy shit if I can't see anything. We probably would be good to have random guide color, so let's get an element of that in there. Guide color. So that's $A. Let's do $B, and we're gonna have to move that down. But let's just copy paste this section, but then put rand value A equals rand 0 to 1, starting with a seed of 1. Then we can copy paste that twice. Oh, not there though. Then give it a new seed each time. Then do B and do C. Apply, accept, and then I'm going to reopen it. So $B can be $rand value A. I just can't do that, isn't it? Alright. Just do that. $rand value A, comma, rand value B, comma, rand value C. And let's just get rid of all these spaces at the end. Apply, and then let's just put that to B. go. Oh, we also need to reduce the amount of green because you can't tell if a guide is selected all the time. So let's just go and set rand value B, which is being used for green. Set the max of that to 0.5. That just makes it a little bit more visible. It's like less green involved. There we go. That's a bit easier to read. So it's not loading, the groom that is, but I've got a feeling it's actually working just fine. So I'm gonna new scene and then reopen the scene. So I've got a sneaking suspicion it's actually perfectly fine. Oh, I didn't save. Why? This one works. Okay, let's try opening version 50 again. So this one's not working. Okay, I haven't gone out of my way to fix this before, but let's see if we can do it. So groom. So what we're going to find is that there's no, oh, there is a .xgen file. So why is it not opening? Let's try importing collection. And let's just grab, I don't think it will work, FKA twigs. I have to clean up the folder for that. Import operation failed, but it clearly didn't, did it? Okay. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do, that's a bit of a shame. Collections, just delete this guy. I'm gonna grab the model that I've made. For where is it? Temp. Let's just grab that group, export it as an alembic. So cache alembic, export selection to alembic. Just gonna call it temp, and we want UV right and world space. Export selection. Open my scene. Go back to the previous version where it did work. Wonder what broke it. I'm gonna not trust the I'm gonna not trust anything anymore. Are these grooms not showing now? Let's try reopening Maya from scratch. Oh, it looks like I'm also having that bug to boot. Perfect. Which means that actually 50 might be working. It's just not working in here. So let's end task. Actually, no, it wouldn't make sense if 50 was working. Okay, so yeah, I've got a feeling that I need to go back to 49. Oh, because I had loads of grooms invisible, didn't I? I wonder if that's caused it. Come on. Right, so let's go to groom 49. Right, so this groom is working now. So let's hide. Let's just delete these because we don't need them. At least I don't think we need them. I'm going to go into my temp group, delete braid bun, cache, alembic, import temp, braid bun geo, put that in here. Cool. So then we're just gonna have to create a new groom this time. So let's go into the collection and just make sure that one, I copy the name of this thing, because that's going to be helpful. In fact, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Let's just copy the name. I'll just make things from scratch. It's not like I spent ages on it. If I'd spent ages on it, then I'd be going through and trying to figure out how to save as much as possible, but I really don't need to do that. So let's create a description. Cool, so let's go to braids ponytail, hide you. I'm going to save over scene 50. Cool. I'm also going to set this to not update automatically anymore. Let's go to bun. Right. So let's go into XGen. Let's create a mask for this guy. Mask. Fill it to black and set this to 30. Cool. Then set this to 2K because we know that 1K isn't enough from when we were last doing it. Okay, so apparently I need to paint something first. Which makes sense. Cool. Save texture. Edit. Oh, that is at 2K? I've set it to 4K. No object matches name. Something's breaking. Something under the hood really bad is breaking. We'll find out what it is later. Save textures. So then I'm going to just try previewing that again. Edit and assign textures. Why is that not working? 2048. Oh, that did work this time. I'm just getting this error for some reason. Cool, save the texture again, and save the braid mask. So now we can save the scene again. Go into channel box. Actually, I don't need to do that. I don't know why I keep thinking I have to do that. Let's go into tube groom. Tubes means select them. Do that. Test. The test is working this time, so that's a good sign. Let's set that to 0.25. Test. I think it runs out of polygons after a while, so I'm gonna smooth these guys. And that can only help, right? Let's test that again. Let's actually delete those out and load them in again. Test that again. Okay, so if I set this to 1. I'm just trying to find where, yeah, there we go, so it can actually add more now. That's definitely not the amount I want though, so let's go to 2. Stuff like that looks pretty good to me. Everything else is fine. I'm gonna set this, it's a float from 0 to 10,000, Jesus. I'm just gonna set that to 5. Yeah, test visually does nothing. Let's just generate that and leave it to do its thing for a second. There we go. So there's that done. I'm going to save my scene again. And then I'm going to Alt save, because I don't trust anything. Turn that off. Then we're going to need to go in and hide you. I'm going to need to do, oh, did I not change the CV frequency again? God fucking damn it. Sorry about this, guys. True Groom. CV frequency 2. Let's try again. There we go. So, 5th time's the charm. Save the scene. Can't show the groom yet. Oh, it's done that thing again where it locks up at the top. So, save scene. What is causing this level of instability right now? This is insane. Right. We can do this. Come on, Maya. I do wonder sometimes how fucking good would CG look by now if all of our tools were stable and artists could just do what they wanted to do. Isn't that a world worth living in? Jesus Christ. Right, well we got guides, so that's a good sign. And we have hair. That's also a good sign. Look at it, it's beautiful. Right, so I'm gonna show all of the grooms. Something doesn't exist. There's a points map somewhere that doesn't exist for hairline. Is it the guy clumping? Just regenerate that. And then regenerate this. I'm just gotta regenerate from scratch. Let it do its thing. So apparently there's an XPD somewhere that doesn't exist, so I'm just gonna let it make new ones. Cool. That should broadly look the same. Oh, I just had that set to update all of them, didn't I? There we go. Right, so let's fix our new groom. So I also want to do the random colorization. So I'm gonna create a, let's just say col A, and then let's do rand R, and then that should be rand 0, 1, 1. Then we need to copy paste that. This time I'm gonna save the expression. G, I'm gonna put the 0.5 in that now. Set you to 3, B. And then let's copy this guy. Call B. Set you to, well, I need to delete all these, don't I? Because it always freaks out in some way. So then it's just rand. Okay, they don't exist yet. Let's just apply. That's fine. Accept. Open it back up. Just update that. $rand. No? Okay. Let's just put 1, 1, 1. Apply. And then replace you with col A for now. Apply. Accept. Right, so let's try again. And why are you not? They're all declared. There we go. So now it's doing that shit. why that was happening. Super weird. So we can do that, and then we're just going to call B. Apply. There we go. Accept. So let's save that expression. Save as. Is that going where they all go? Guide. Let's just call it guide call. Accept. And let's go into the load expression. It's in there, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to save it again, this time in the right place. In the same place as everything else, at least. There we go. So I got our random guide colors, which makes things a little bit easier to read visually. Then we need to put the head back into a locked layer. And then, final thing, do that. So, density. This needs to be on like 200 if I remember correctly. Cool, let's set this to update automatically. So we're going to need to turn off tube shade, we're going to need to turn off only pointers in view. We're going to need to assign our hair shader, which is hair dark. I also need to clean out a lot of that stuff. Width should be 0.0008. And then CVs obviously needs to go way up. Let's try 60. Density needs to go way up. Let's try 800. I need more CVs? I think I need more CVs. Let's try 80. Oh yeah, we're getting the shape now. I don't think I'll need more than that. So we are getting some hairs doing some interpolation, so we will need to make a region map for this guy, but that's fine, it's literally just 3 tubes. Let's just show this one. Maybe we can try turning on guide clumping, see if that helps. Modifiers. Let's go with clumping. Where are you? There you are. I don't know why I lose clumping every time. Set up maps, guide, save. It's taking a lot longer than it should. This shouldn't be struggling. Annoyingly, I can't move this window to see the window below it. What if I hover over this? Oh, there we go, we can watch it there. So at 80%. That shouldn't be taking so long though. I guess it's because we're using region maps which don't actually exist. Crashed again. All save. Does this update to 52? It doesn't. Again, why is it still doing this? God damn it. Today is not a good day for Maya. End task. Rest in peace. What could be doing this? Because I've not updated. I'm currently refusing to update until I finish this project. I'll probably be switching to Maya 2020.1 after this project. Just so I can get the viewport caching stuff. Granted, I don't think the viewport caching will make much of a difference to me, considering I don't really do animation, but it's worth having. Alright, so now it's working. Xgen. So let's go into modifiers, and then we need to kill that. And we also need to kill that. I'm just not sure if it's a density issue or not. Let's try, well, technically this has to be a huge number because we're generating a mass of hair from very small areas. But that's not right. So I think I'm going to have to paint my own region map. So let's go into primitives. Hide the hair. So luckily we can actually see these. So let's go into, well actually we're going to need to minimize these anyway. Channel box. Not 2. No. I want 2. Go to Xgen. And let's generate a new map. Create map. Set this to 30. For braids, bun, 01, region, map. 30 is what I typed. Okay, create. Hide you. So I'm just gonna need a solid brush set to first. Let's do yellow. Stylus pressure off. Can I paint from this side? That'd be very helpful if I could. Let's just do a little test splodge there. I can, perfect. I can't see. Although if I do two-sided lighting. Aha! There we go. So let's do something like that. Then let's switch to whatever the next color is, green, and just do U. Do stuff like that. Save textures. Save U. And then I'm going to get rid of that, because that's really bothering me a lot. Something's very low quality about this. So let's fix this. Should be a bit quicker this time. Actually, it's slower. I swear, if mine fucking dies again, I would be so upset. Hey, little man, how you doing? We're having a particularly unstable session today, so brace yourself for some real shit. We had our first Maya crash within, it's 5 minutes 30 seconds of the stream starting. And I've had 3 different soft locks where the UI completely stops updating. Oh, it's really slow today.
30%. Alright, well, we've got some time to chat. If anyone wants to like send any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to kind of chat through them. This is insane. Why is it so shit? Do I just need way more CVs on my curve? Like, not the hair curves, but actual guide curves? That is possible. This is why tools like Ornatrix and Yeti are just so much better than XGen sometimes. Is because they have tools built in to actually do this. Like, braids, yeah, sure, they're rare, but they're not that uncommon. Like, having a dedicated tool for them is very, very helpful. And you could argue that the tube grooming is dedicated, but it's a bit of a shit solution because it relies on having a braided mesh, which itself isn't the easiest thing to make if you're doing anything complex. Like, we're quite lucky that the braids I had to do were quite simple. But yeah, it's not easy. Could be a lot easier. Is it still going? Okay, can I cancel this? I don't know if you can cancel stuff like this. Come on. Right. It's going to be very unhappy with me right now. So, set up maps. I'm going to turn off control maps. And let's just try that instead. That's still ludicrously slow. And it's quicker. But why is it struggling so much? Is it just the size of the area? Do I need to expand the area it's going through? Well, this is up to where it was before, so it's going a bit quicker this time. Come on, Matt. Please. It's taking too long as well. It shouldn't be taking this long. This is ridiculous. I'm wondering what can I even do to fix this? Because strictly speaking, it should already work. Oh, we got our soft lock as well. Yeah. Does anyone know if there's a way to fix this soft locking issue? Where like the UI just stops responding. Because like, I can still look around. I can still work in the scene, but the UI itself is locked. Like I can't... Okay, so I can do that. So why can't I move the panel? And if I was to save now, it wouldn't increment the scene file. It's like the most annoying kind of crash as well, because it can be like that for like minutes or even tens of minutes and you wouldn't notice. We are currently 1 hour and 5 minutes into this stream, and all we've been able to do is turn on a groom. Good lord. If I can't get it working this time, I'm going to ignore it and work on the other grooms in the scene, because this is a bit ridiculous, and I don't want to bore you guys too much with it. So, like, this sort of stuff I'd rather work on my own, like, free time, not kind of forcing other people to sit through it as well. Right. Oh, it's a hybrid now. Some are clumped and some aren't. Something's going on there. What can I do? I'm wondering if Tube Groom itself is partially to blame for this. Like, if I was to create the groom from scratch but just steal the guide curves, would that work better? I'm going to give that a go, because I'm really not happy with how this is reacting to everything. So let's convert these utilities, guides as curves. No, guides to curves. Delete. And then let's select these, delete the history on them, so that I can delete the groom. Descriptions, delete description. Right, so now I need to go in and delete that collection as well. Not a collection, I need to delete this guy too. I'm going to copy the name of it though. Delete that. Right. So now let's create a new groom. Create description. Create you with guides. Right, so now let's ignore the tube groom shit and curves to guides, delete curves. Right, so now select these. Load my expression. Guide call. Right, progress. Open the hypershade and create map. Call this the name of the groom, and then put mask. Map resolution down to 30, up to 30, set to black. Click paint. Cool, now we can load an existing mask. Oh, it's already loaded, perfect. Lighting, two-sided lights. Cool. Save textures again. The reason it loaded it by default is because it had the same name as a file that already existed for my scene. So, we've got that now, which in theory should allow us to, I'm going to save over this scene. That should allow us to set like 80 CVs, not 800. Turn off tube shade, only points in view, set this to like 800. And then width down to 0.08, which for some reason sets to 0.005, which is a smaller number. It's still not working. Wait, that's the end of hairs. Wait, why are these guides not reaching the tip? Well, there's our issue. But why are they not reaching the end? Might have to generate my guides manually. I mean, I can, but it's a bit annoying. Okay, let's delete those. That'd be why I'm having all this shit then. Okay. That's unbelievably frustrating. Why has it done that? Okay, so we're just going to need to go into I'm going to do this one guide at a time. So let's go wait, actually. So we get to keep these. They're not reaching the end either though. The fuck? Okay. Let's do one of these at a time. I actually might need to do it literally one of these at a time. Modify, convert, polygon edges to curve. And that curve should reach the very end. It does. Right. So then let's do the same to you. Generate. Do the same to you. Do the same to you. Do the same to so now we got curves that travel the whole length of this thing. I might go higher density on them. Can I select multiple of these? I cannot. Okay, so I just need to do it one at a time. Let's go shading, X-ray. Okay, that's not helpful. Turn off X-ray. Modify, convert, polygon edges to curve. Right, so that's one curve. We don't have a curve along the middle, but that should be okay. Do the same to this guy. This is where knowing what that cutoff frequency does and how it works would help. Cool. Next one. Cool. So that's all of those done. Delete history on them. And let's hide. Let's just set this to reference and hide it. I'm gonna save my scene. Why are they not selectable? Oh, they're still in the group, that's why. There we go. So now we can select all these. I'm going to have to monitor the inside of these. And let's just go curves to guides. Right. That should be cleaner now. Well, we still don't have many guides here. Let's give that a go. That's even worse. Ah, come on, we can do this. Let's put a guide right in the middle. Put a guide right in the middle of you. Guide right in the middle of you. Why doesn't this curve want to work? Becca says hi, by the way. She's currently out of friends, so she can't drop by the stream. Right, so they're not following our curves in the slightest. Let's show the geo. Oh, they've moved. Fatal error. Oh my god. Oh, this stream, man. I'm not loading that because it never saves extra files. Alright, stream 26 is a cursed stream. Groom. Right, luckily I didn't get rid of the, I didn't save after the curves. So let's get those. So let's go to F8. F8. So what I need to do now is select the first CV of all of these. So select first CV. Oh, some of these are a different direction. Why? What? Okay, so I need to invert all the curves bar these three. So I'm not going to remember which way around that is, so let's just do this. Why are they going the wrong way? So let's go reverse direction. Cool. And then let's select the first CV again. First CV. Cool. Now let's select guides that don't have the first CV in the right place. Which, this was one. That was one. And which one was it? I think it was that one. So I'm going to go with a guess. I think it was those three. So let's reverse their directions. Curve, reverse. So that's all these again. Modify, no, select first CV. Right. Soft select this and move it this way. Basically I'm just moving them out of the head. Then I'm gonna select the head, make it a live object. And now we have to go through all the curves. Select the first CVs. And it's beautiful. Is there a snapped closest point? I mean, I can show the base meshes while I'm doing this and literally just line them up, but Meyer and Murphy together again. Is that the Murphy's Law? Nice. Yeah, this stream really isn't going my way. That's fine though, that's part of being a CG artist. Learning to deal with this level of shit. So why aren't these working? I mean, I guess we can try this. Let's give this a go, because base proximity should kick in and pull these in. So let's go select these guys. Select these guys. Go to utilities, curves to guides. Right. That looks more promising. I'm a genius! That was the biggest load of bullshit to get such a simple thing done. Fuck's sake. Oh, right, okay, we got there. This is working better than the other version did. We can add our own cutoff, although I'm going to do that manually with guides. We can add our own guides in the middle just to help cement that in place, that in place, and that in place. They should all go to the end. So let's select those. I cannot select those. Just go around doing this, I guess. No, we ain't doing that. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna have to assume they made it to the middle. Right. Progress. May not be good, but it's working. And that is most definitely progress. I'm going to save an alt version of scene. This updated, so Maya's not locked again. We're doing fucking well this time, lads. Then let's put on the hair dark material. Right, so show all our grooms. Which, thank you to, I think it was Littleman that pointed it out, that you can literally just set this to show all your grooms. I need more fucking alcohol today. Right, that's a lot better. Finally. So I guarantee the reason Tube Groom was having so many issues earlier is because the tubes were facing the wrong way. Whatever the fuck that means. Right. Modifier time, I guess. We need to crank this way up. The level of stress. Alright, fur braids top. We need to massively reduce the amount of strays and noise in general, to be honest. I need to take the noise off of the tips because it's just building up too much here. Modifiers. Percentage, let's reduce that to 2%. Oh, is this still set to update every fucking collection? Right, so that's a better number of strays. They're too strong though. And I'm going to need to do this. To get some semblance of... I'm going to need to do some stuff with the guides over here. Oh, the guides weren't making it all the way over here too. Does that mean the fucking ponytails are the same? Looks like they've all made it. There's a little bit of length variation, but not enough for it to be an issue. We have to do some shit here. Oh, that braid didn't make it at all. Oh, right. Stream suddenly started picking up viewers. You guys have got it easy. You missed all the difficult shit we've been through today. That shit was absolutely horrible. Thank you for joining anyway, though. I appreciate it. So, definitely I need to do some work here. I'm going to leave that alone for now, though. See, I kind of like the ponytail, but it's not working, but I kind of like it. Let's just quickly get this guy doing some interesting stuff. I need to add some randomness to the width as well. I don't want to add taper because we're not supposed to see the ends of these hairs. Density capped out at 1000. That is the wrong groom. Right, so fun modifiers. We want to add some, I guess, guide clumping would be ideal. Although guide clumping is going to be a load of parallel lines, so we do need some procedural clumping. Let's do that. Set up maps, generate 12, generate 16, generate. Let's give that a go. We need to remove any level of taper. And we need to grab you and set you to like 0.4 or something. We're gonna need a lot more clumps, it turns out. Let's go, oh, I guess that makes sense actually because we're only doing a tiny area. So let's go 48. Generate 100. Generate. Wasting so much time on the guides that are nowhere, or the curves that are nowhere near. Now it's a little bit more promising. You can see some splits now looking quite nice. Let's get a little bit of noise in there. Let's get a universal amount of noise. So set this to like 1 there. Frequency needs to go 4, 8. We're at a CV level issue now. Let's go 4. I'm gonna have to crank up the CV count. 160 CVs. Right, so now modifiers. We want to obviously turn down the strength, but let's do round 0 to 1, which will halve the strength. That's kind of cool. So now let's get a cut, and we're going to have the cut only affect a percentage of hers. So this is a little bit of a trick I like to do. In fact, let's get a regular noise in there first. And I'm going to set this to affect basically all hairs evenly. Set you to rand 0 to 0.5, something nice and subtle. Frequency can go up to around 4, I guess, the same as the clumps. Need it a little bit more slick. Let's go 2.5. That's a little bit better for me. We're also going to need to do a percentage affected on the clumps. So let's load an expression. Percentage affected. Alright, there you are. This will help it feel a bit fuller. Lots nicer. So much nicer. Right, so now, here's a little bit of a trick I like to do. So, one of the problems that you get with braid grooms or dreadlocks and things like that, I'm going to have to draw this to illustrate it. Time for, it's education time again. I've really enjoyed doing these, like, you know, little side lesson things. So, normally, in real life, when you're doing braids, well, let's just go with a simple dreadlock just because it's so much easier to draw. So we've got our skin here, right? And in CG, our dreadlock normally is done like all of it is coming from here. In fact, no, let's do it as a braid, but from the side view. So we have all of it going here. So to complete the dreadlock, the braid, we need all of our hairs to reach the very end. We need that. In reality, a braid is, again, you got your skin. You get some hair from here, that makes it there. You get some hair from here, that makes it there. You get some hair from here, that makes it there. Blah, 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 blah. And these will make it further and further. So the key point there is that hairs that start here will end around here. Hairs that start here will end around here. And hairs that start here will end out here somewhere. It won't let me draw outside that area. That is a feature, I guess. But yeah, so that's the key problem is, as CG artists, we have to shortcut that generally, unless you want to braid your guides manually, which I do not recommend. It means we need our hairs to all start from the same point. So that presents an issue in that if we add noise, let's just say you were looking at someone's braid, because some hairs are ending here, when you get noise, you're going to have like a little hair that's poking out and just ends on the silhouette, right? Whereas if all our hairs are continuing to the end, they'll do that. They'll link back in, which isn't necessarily what you want every time. So what you can do is if you cut a percentage of hairs, so that one random hair will end here, one random hair will end here, one random hair will end here, and then you use the exact same mask to do a noise, it'll basically just pull random hairs out and just the tip of them will show out. And that's a much more realistic way to achieve strays on braids and on any kind of hair where we need to fake it, which is most kinds of hair, I guess, but you get what I mean. We wouldn't use a trick like that on this back, for example, where we are monitoring the length. You wouldn't use it here, you just use it on grooms where you don't actually see the ends of the hair. So the best place for me to show it, and I will be putting it on all of them, but the best place to show it is, well, I'll be using it on this braid and this braid, not the ponytail, because you can't see the end of that. But if I just add a noise, so let's just go in and add a noise, and this will have a percentage affected. So let's go load expression, load over percentage affected. This will affect, let's say, 3% of hairs, and it'll be really fucking strong. Let's do something like that. But actually, let's not do that. So you see how, for one, you're getting, I need to hide all the other grooms. So you see how it's like biased towards where all the hairs end? That's one of the issues we get. So the only way to fight around that is to raise it up, but then you're just getting hair that loops back in on itself. You're not getting any ends in this. So what we can do is create a noise like this. So it's only adding noise to the ends. I'm going to need to raise the frequency quite a bit. Let's go to like 3. Right, so it's only doing that. If I add a cut, and I put this earlier, then what I'm going to do is set this C to something like, let's go 8. I need these two values to be identical. So let's go back to that cut. Let's go to our expression, load expression. Hopefully this works, because I assume that they're using the same seed if I set them, so we don't know though. So, percentage seed was 8, percentage affected was 3. So in theory these are identical maps now. So we can now cut this down to like 0.8, multiply that by C length. I really hope this works in this. So that's 3 and 8, 3 and 8. It's not working. Are the seeds different? Like under the hood, are they different? That'd be such a fucking shame if they are. So this works in other tools. This general technique does work in other tools. Let's play back with the seed. Let's set it to like 1. Is this multiplied per hair? Multiplied by C length. That looks promising. Doesn't look very promising anymore. Still biased towards that side. God damn it. Okay, so it doesn't work in next gen. That's such a fucking shame. Okay. So how can we work around that? I don't just want to do this. Really don't just want to do that. I don't really have much of a choice. Unless I just cut a huge percentage of them. Oh, that's not what I want. Yeah, it's not going to work. Okay. I'm just going to have to ignore that. Sadly, it doesn't work in here. In theory, it should. I guess maybe you have to use a set expression here. Let me try. Braid. Braid, bun, stray, mask. Okay. So let's just do load expression, percentage affected, 3. So now go to our modifiers. So how do we call that? Braid. How do you use this? Braid, bun, stray, mask. Oh wait, we can do it in global. No, user. No. How can we use it? And so let me give this a Google. Next gen description expression. Yeah, I don't care about this stuff. I want to it's going to give me all this stuff. What's the correct name for this thing? Expressions tab, I guess. Create global expressions in the expression tab. But how do you use them? Go to expressions tab, type the name of the expression such as randomize. Click the plus. That's fine. Expression tab uses slider to control the expression's value. To control the attributes. Yes, but how do you use this? So let's just do rand value global. Let's go put global in the volleys. And let's call this burn stray percentage equals that. And then just call burn stray percentage. Apply. So now can I do it? Global. This is beyond frustrating. Okay, we just have to give up hope on that. So it's so frustrating. Modifiers. Set this just to. We're just going to have to do strays the boring, inaccurate way. We don't really have much of a choice. Percentage affected. Say something very low, like 3. A random seed of something like 8. And then we don't need seed length. Round 0 to 4. Let's go 2 to 6. Oh, let's go 2 to 8 actually. 8 is too much. 5. It's okay to me. Does not look okay to me. I need to set this to the magnitude. So rand 0 to 1. That's what we need to remember. Noise magnitude. So that was set to 1. Cool. And let's turn off these guys. Get some loose clumps in there. That would be a bit better. So let's show all of the grooms. Right, so let's change, I'm going to do a test render, but let's change the light angle. That is the wrong window. -90. Save that. Right, I'm going to kick off a render, and I'll be back in a second. Just gotta mute the microphone, go to the toilet. There we go. Alright, so we've got hair. It's not looking the way I'd want at all, but it's hair, it's progress. At this point we do have like all the grooms we need. I think we need some width variation. I think that will help quite a lot. So let's go into, let's go in here. Let's go into width and load an expression. Width random mapped. So I'm going to load this and then get rid of the mapped bit of it. I'm going to save, oh, it is already called mapped. So let's get rid of that. Let's set that to width. There we go. Let's apply that. And then let's just set that to 008 like it was. There we go. So got a little bit of width variation in there now. I'm going to save that as a non-mapped version. Save. It's got one with random mapped. I'm just going to get rid of the mapped section. There we go. So now I can quickly go in and add that to some of the others. Load expression with random. And let's get a little bit of variation in there. Not a huge amount, but enough for it to be interesting. I wonder that these braids are a little bit too noisy. I still need to remove these as well, don't I? Alright, so let's add that noise back in, but make it a ton more subtle. Right. I need to find some good reference for the loose hair at the back, so let's just give it a quick Google. Just gonna search ponytail. I'm not too worried about finding anything specific. I'm not too worried about finding anything specific for like black hair. I'm more looking just for the shapes generally that loose hair will make. I just want to find something that's appealing. I'm not necessarily worried about it being accurate to like her race. It's more just want to get something that looks interesting. And I quite like it. As I've said in previous streams, I'm obsessed with like S shapes. Ponytail. What am I going to find? Loose. Doesn't really show us anything. It's such high ponytail. Can't see anything there. I can always try sketching over it. That's something that I tend to do whenever I can't find a good reference for what I want. Is I'll literally draw what I want with the grease pencil. That tends to do quite a good job. Maybe such a messy ponytail. So that's just sticking straight down, so that's not really that appealing. And again, it's just sticking down, although it is a lot looser than what I've got. Maybe my clumps are too defined, maybe that's the issue. That might be it. Maybe I just need some mad noise there. Let's give it a go. Let's go for loose. And let's try just lengthening these guides a bit. Something like that. Show that. And that in of itself helped a bit, but we need to definitely add some noise to break that up. Noise. So let's just figure out magnitude and stuff first. frequency needs to go way down. Or we can multiply it by C length. Let's see if that works. No. Okay, so 0.2. Still pretty high frequency, weirdly. Why is it not affecting the hairs anymore? Oh, that's just the shape they already have. Oh, that's unfortunate. So that does look interesting to me. So we're just going to need to mask that off. And then I guess this one, maybe if we preserve length on this guy. No. So that's 100. Move it up one. There we go. Right, so obviously we need to mask that. Can we rename these? No, we cannot. Does the order matter? Yes, it does. Okay. So we're gonna have to paint a mask for this. Let's try different frequencies, because that frequency is obviously quite low. Okay, so the frequency can vary. Let's go around 0.1 to 0.4. Then we're going to need to paint this out. And I'm just going to paint into that area. So mask. Yeah, let's paint it there. So create map. So this is where names start getting long. Fur, head, loose, 01, noise, 02, mask. Set this at 30, oh, not 300, Jesus. Set that to black, create. And then we're just gonna go in and paint white. And I'm gonna do this with, where was that noise? There it is, spotty. I really like this noise. That's not working for me at all. So textures, save view. Cool, that works better for me. Save textures, save Pt.26. Cool. How's that working a bit better? Just gonna need to get some more sway in there, I think. He's working fine, so let's vary him a little bit. Flip this one. We can afford for these to be more chaotic now since we're completely breaking them apart. Can't afford to move that one though. Apparently that has a lot more influence than I expected. There we go. Right, so next thing. Let's just do a quick test render again. Oh, I need to get the width random in here as well. Luckily it's already got it actually. Oh, that's because it's in loose. I need to go into, where is he? Tide. Get it in there as well, load expression. Then we want width random. Let's increase the randomness a little bit for you. Looks like it's not having much of an effect. It's doing something, it's just visually not doing much. Let's look up here. No, it is doing something, alright, cool. Alright, so let's check an angle like that one. Then I need to put the shader back on it because we lost that. So let's check this. So we set to 0.7, we need to set to 0.3 because that looked quite good. Let's put on the mask. There we go. Angle like that one looks good. Save scene. Preview. The lack of progress today is going to frustrate me so much when I do the end of day renders. I didn't do an IPR, did I? I like to do IPRs because they respond quicker to region render changes. And that's something that's quite helpful at the moment. Right, so IPR. Let's get rid of the ID pass, which I still haven't learned how to get rid of without manually deleting. Just do a few passes. I feel like I'm gonna have to crank the density of this in between groom as well, because that's what the coverage should feel like. Like, there are undoubtedly gaps. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that what we're looking at there is actually skin tone, but this feels a lot more extreme. I know it's partially because of the contrast, but when I put the skin textures on there, it's even more extreme. Let's region render now. Let's pick a section like this one. Yeah, I'm going to increase the density quite a lot. I'm going to double it. Let's just see how it looks. braid root. So let's go 480. Looks like it'd be more promising. Again, not strictly accurate, but if it means getting a look, it means getting a look. Something funky going on over there. Come on. Do your render. There we go. Again, just let it do a couple passes just so I get a general feel for the whole image. That's immediately feeling better with the partings. So now let's do that. So maybe double is a bit too much. I think somewhere between those two. Let's see what else. Let's get a proper look at this ponytail. Yeah, this in of itself looks fine. It's not great, but it's good enough for it to be okay. It needs some side-to-side flow within this shape, so I need to do some clump work. So let's do a little bit of that, shall we? I'm going to try to do it without moving my camera. So let's go to ponytail. And we go into modifiers, and we've got one level of clumping, which is doing what exactly? That's just our guide clumping now, is it? Let's reduce the noise in him. And then let's add another clumping. No clump guides found, as to be expected. Generate. Let's go to 16. Let's give that a go. Clump it way sooner. Okay, and what we can do is get a noise in here. Let's throw our magnitude expression into this. Frequency needs to go to like 3 or something. Nope, too high. 2. Still too high. 1. Good enough. Let's turn on a straight percentage. Let's turn down the base amount. We are going to need a bit of randomness in this as well, actually. So let's generate this with a mask of 0.6. Generate that. Save. So then what I'm going to do is just turn down the noise as it goes towards the end. Have we got a lock? Alt save. We have a lock. Alright, that's the, what, 5th one today? So basically the UI is not going to update anymore. I really hope it's kept the position, so let's kill Maya, because we have to. End task. Come on. Cool, camera's in the right position. That is a relief to me. Ponytail. Cool. So let's just quickly go back into that noise. That looks like it will work. Let's give that a quick IPR test. I need to set percentage of hairs to not clump to these secondary clumps. That's the next thing I need to do, but we'll get to that when we need to get to it. Definitely looks more interesting. We lost a bit of volume, although part of that is removing the noise that it had. But texturally, that is a lot more interesting now. So I just need to set a percentage of them to not clump, and that will help with the hollow feeling. So let's just do a simple percentage affected. So load expression, load other percentage affected. Let's go with 58%, and let's see how that looks. So now you'll be able to see visually what percentage affected is doing. Ultimately, it will make the groom feel a bit more full, if that makes sense. So basically the gaps between the clumps will be covered by hairs. Strictly speaking, actually, the percentage of hairs that are clumping like the tight ones will actually be massively lower than I've got it. But I always like to push it a bit more than it actually is. Also, we've got 7 viewers right now, it's picking up again. Hope everyone's doing well, hope everyone's having a good night, and hopefully not too disappointed in the amount of bugs I'm having tonight. I'm trying to appear at least semi-professional, but that's sometimes quite difficult. Let's just get rid of that. Then do a few passes as always. Cool, so let's compare. So maybe I want more affected. Let me go halfway between these. So, non-affected, some affected, all affected. I mean, this is definitely better than that, but I think this is visually more interesting. So I need to reduce the amount of hairs that are not affected by the clumping. So it should go up to like 75 or something. Save my scene. Let's do a quick IPR. And what I'll do is I'll immediately reorder oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll immediately reorder the renders. Put that there. So what you'll be able to see is no clump twos, percentage of them, a high percentage of them, and then all of them affected. So hopefully that would be quite helpful to see for you guys. Percentage affected is so important to do. Like it is like a night and day difference when you start working with it. Not because it's technically accurate. Like, I mean, I guess it will be accurate most of the time. Like, not all of your hairs will be clumped. That's just not how hair is. But yeah. So we got no clump twos, 50%, 75%, 100%. So that's the difference between 75 and 100. 75 and 50 even. 50, 75. So it's pretty subtle. But you see how we're getting, I'm going to kill the render. See, we're getting more like texture in the more clumped version. Like the shadows are a little bit deeper. I think I'm going to stick with that amount. So should we just copy these settings to him? Let's give it a go. May as well, I see no reason not to. So, we got 2 layers of clumping. The second one is set to 16. It will need to be higher for him, but let's give it a go. Where is it? Done. Yeah, so we just got 1 layer of clumping at the moment, which is set to what exactly? 100. Okay, maybe let's not do a second layer. Let's set that to lower. Let's set it to 60. Save. And then do my alt save. So let's view that. So IPR. If you're wondering why I'm alt saving so often, it's not because I'm scared of losing stuff, it's more because I'm trying to see if Maya's locked or not. I have to move the camera now. Let's turn off the noises. So, color preview. Let's lower that a little bit. Let's go like 0.2 or 1.2. And let's add the strays back in. That density needs to go higher still. Let's go 2,400. Now how many hairs is that generating? 1,000. Oh, it needs to be way higher. Jesus, I'm way off. 1,300. So I'm gonna guess at about 10,000 hairs in this area. So that needs to be 10 times higher, or roughly 10 times higher. So let's go to 20,000. Maybe 20,000 a bit much. Oh, sorry, 10,000 hairs, maybe. So that's 11,000. We can lower that a little bit. Let's go to 1.5. Cool. So that noise is way too much in the modifiers now. I think set this to not update. I'm going to set this to 0, this to 0, and try that. It's a lot slower now, but that count is a lot more accurate. Or should be a lot more accurate. Right, so now we can increase that. Add that in. Okay, let's increase the minimum a little bit. So that's at like 2. So all hairs are affected by this. These in there. The percentage is going to have to be a lot lower. It's going to have to go down to at least 1%. May even need to add decimals of percentages. That's actually okay. So that's a lower number. We can go lower on the CV count. Let's go down to 120. This will change the strays a fair bit, I think, but that's fine by me. Yeah, that's fine by me. So then we need to check the ponytail. What's the count on you?
4,000 primitives. That's way too low as well. It should be closer to like 20,000, I think. So this needs to be set to 60k. Save the scene. Uh-oh. How many hairs is this about to generate? So I created 200,000 hairs, which is too much. We accidentally added a 0 we don't need. I don't know why I did that 0. There we go, 20,000. So that will feel a lot more correct. We need to do something down here, but I'll figure out what to do later. Let's check our other braids. Check their density. 24,000. So technically that should be a lot higher too. That's the majority of the head being pulled into these. I'm not going to go to full density because that would be a bit intense, but let's take it twice as high. Doing all this will drastically change how the hair shades in render time. Like drastically change it. We've got 1% on 2 different strays now, which means percentages aren't going to do much of a favor anymore. And what about the groom in between braid root? $160,000. So that's set way too high. So we need to reduce that down. One thing to remember is that all of our grooms are going to total up way above humanly possible amounts of hair. The reason being is because this groom that we see here is the same as this groom, which is the same as this groom or this groom, whichever. In real life, they'd all be 1 hair. So for 1 hair, we've got 3 or 4. So our density is going to be massive. Let's set that to 360. So that's just something to kind of keep aware of. Is our densities won't be accurate to real life. They just won't. But visually we'll be matching as close as we can. I'm going to go into modifiers, clumping. Need to make this higher density, so that's 16. I need a lower percentage to be affected. And let's see what happens if clump 1 goes back in. That feels like it'd be a little bit more accurate.
And I think after we've done that, we're going to figure out what the fuck's going on with these. So, save scene. Camera will have moved a million times, so I'm not too worried about matching the angle of the others. Let's just go somewhere like there and do an IPR. So angle won't match, but that's fine. I'm just taking its time to start. There we go. Almost perfectly on time. Oh, that braid at the back's looking a lot better. Accent came out a little bit there. Yeah, it's looking a lot better now. Okay, so yeah, density. Density is important, who would have thought? I'm wondering how I want to do those strays though. Am I going to need a separate groom just for ponytail strays and braid strays? I just need to find out where these are coming from. I think it's coming from Tide. I also need a percentage of these to not clump the way they currently are. So let's go into the braids and do that. Okay, so I'm going to change to a new camera. So I want to keep that one exactly where it is for a second. This focal length is horrible. I've gotten really used to how 80 feels. So it's just like how I function now. So I think clump 1 was guides, right? Right, okay. So we're gonna need a percentage on both of these. So, load expression. Although, it'd be simpler if I can just add it to the second one. So let's do that for now. Because the second one's doing the most damage by lots of things. Yeah, that's one tearing things apart. Okay, so let's load expression. Load over. Percentage affected, as always. And something like that will do nicely. There we go. So that will close up some of those gaps. We need to now go into top row, or braid root even, and pull down some of these, because these are above the hairs, and we don't want that. So let's just scale that in. Same with you. Same with you. Maybe I was going for something fancy when I was doing the guides, but now when I look at it, I'm just like, that's a dumb idea. We want the braids to be dominant, so let's let them be dominant. That looks a lot better already. Cool, so let's update that. So if we had a guide in the middle now, what happens? Yeah, so it's poking out, so I'm just going to lean it down a little bit. Put a guide there, lean it down a little bit, and let's see how that looks. That's a lot better. That one's even messier. And do that. Let's just grab several of these. So let's go back into the perspective cam. Do another render. Did I just kick off a preview render? I did, didn't I? Chat's a bit quiet. You guys okay? Yeah, this is a preview render. Should kill it now. Didn't mean to start preview render. Come on, Maya. This is why I don't like preview renders. They are really slow for some reason. Like, killing them just takes way longer than killing an IPR. Which doesn't make much sense, because surely it's caching the same amount of stuff. Like, it's still geometry and textures, so I don't think a full preview render needs to cache anything additional to that, because the GI is brute force. It's not having to make any radiance or point caches. So it shouldn't take longer to end the render. Like, it's still ending the render now. This is going to be one of those streams though where the progress render from the front is not going to have changed in the slightest. That's a little bit frustrating. I also feel like I'm going to need to remake the guides for the braids at the top using the technique I did for the bun at the back. So the bun at the back looks a lot better. Like, objectively, I think it looks better. Which means that I'm just not using tube groom correctly, probably. But let's start an APR this time.
That's not really done enough for me. So we're going to need quite a bit of noise in this. This is a bit too smooth at the moment. I feel like I should just duplicate this perspective 3 as a render cam. Why did it just move? Oh, perspective is render cam this way. I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to call this render cam 2, or render cam back, I guess. So render is this persp 4? Yeah. Render cam and the back cam. And make it visible. I don't know why it's not visible by default. And then just lock that in place. Cool, and let's lock scale as well. Right, so now I can delete persp 3 and work in persp 1 again. Or persp, I guess. So I guess we'll fix this shit, whatever it is. Part of me is just like, let's just rebuild it, like, with the techniques we've learned. I wonder why it's just those two. Either way, we can fix that with literally just making one map that just cuts them right there. So let's go to region map, create map. I'm going to call this for braids top 01 region map. Set this to resolution of 30. Because 30 seems to be a magic number on this character. And all I need to do is just separate. These don't need parting down the middle because they're actually dealing just fine. So all I need to do is just separate them from the other sides. So let's do something like that. Hello. Let's just paint it all first. Save texture. And save you. Oh, I just did something. It's even worse. Incredible. Why are you like this? 2048. Anyone seen this before? It's actually down-resing lower than the resolution of a mesh. Or actually, no, it's not. It's down-resing to the resolution of a mesh. What the fuck? Why? Why is it not painting on the UVs? is saving out at that resolution. Oh, wait, no, there we go. Where is it? 68 kilobytes. It seems a little bit low. Let me set this to like 4K. Why? Why is it doing that? What on earth? So, yeah, of course it's going to make it even worse. Why are you like this, though? Why? I'm going to try to figure this out before the end of the stream. But that is weird. Why can't you just paint? Is something wrong with the UVs? What we can do here? So now, let's fix that. Let's hang it with you too. This is not good. Wait, where did they come from? Those guides are way too close together. Is that what the meshes are doing? Are they that close? I must have separated them more than that, right? That takes absolute piss though. So, let's see if we can do this now. can't do anything about this. Okay.
Have I ever mentioned that I hate Maya?
Would that be news for this channel? I'm gonna close and reopen Maya. So that's updated now. So let's go back into here. Let's go back into braid top. Update you. There we go, it's back. So what the fuck was going on? Back into yellow. I need to make sure I've got stylus pressure turned off. So I'm just going around the whole outline again. It's because when it's been downsampled, there's some blurry lines, and now because they're more than a pixel, they count as a different value entirely. So I just need to make sure I've got those covered. So there's no orange values in our region map, because that wouldn't do anything good for us. Save textures, save you as well. There we go. Fixed. Took long enough. So maybe I do need to separate these side to side. That's fine, we can do that. Don't know why it needs to be done, but we can do it. So let's go. Oh wait, the guide clumping will be getting rid of that one. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's just fix it. The fact I'm using 4K is massively overkill, but I think given everything that was going on earlier, I don't care. Here too. Why are you suffering with it? Okay, let's just go all out and paint these properly. I'm going to increase the resolution of this. So that's 50. Accept. And then we're just going to paint red here.
Save textures. Save view. So close. Save textures. Save view. Save and preview. Oh, see you, Cassie. There we go. There's that one done. So, just for the sake of scene hygiene, I'm going to continue around the whole thing. Even though I don't need to, I'm going to anyway. So let's just color you in. Cool. Then let's go and color you in. Just so they're different. That'll do fine. Then on the other side, I'm going to keep that guy red. Gonna change, let's keep with blue on this guy. Just do that. Save textures, save you, update you. Is that working? And then let's just go down to this. Save textures, save you, and save you. Right. The next thing to do is figure out why the fuck is the hair not doing what the guides are doing. Let's also select all these guys and thin them out a little bit. I hate the fact they don't reach the end. That's so annoying. So why is it they aren't working? And I can just do guide clumping, that will help, but I shouldn't have to. I'm gonna do it anyway. So let's just fix that, point you to the correct directory. And save. This might take some time. No idea how long this will take, to be honest. 30%. So just a few minutes. Oh, it seems to have locked at 30%. 32. I'm just going to leave that to do its thing. Crashed. Crashed, hasn't it? Let's go into details. Oh Maya. The RAM usage is still going up though, which makes me think it hasn't crashed. It's just really fucking close to crashing. I'm not going to let that finish though, it's taking way too long.
technically what I need to do is lower the oh, what's the, God, it won't shut up. Let me turn off control maps and do that instead. Immediately at the same percentage. That's where control maps off. With it being guide clumping, it should be fine. It shouldn't matter, to be honest. How's it doing? It's closer. Let it do its thing. So why are you broken? Oh wait, it's probably okay, let me generate this. It's probably done that soft lock shit again. Yeah, 'cause that's instant. Alt save, so this should go to 57 or 1057. Yeah, it's done soft lock shit again. I'll kill it. End task. It seems to be whenever I'm generating really dense region maps and stuff, it seems to be more likely to do that. Also, whatever state it's in, I'm going to kick off the end of day render because it's already 10 past 11. I'll be streaming again tomorrow though, because that's my usual time to stream. Scream. That's also accurate. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be working primarily on the front of the hair, just because today's stream will literally not have made any difference to the progression renders, because they're being done from the front. So not ideal. It's still work that had to be done, because ultimately we want it to look good from as many angles as possible. But it is still, like, obviously we need to make sure we're working on everything, not just the back. Right. I think whatever my next project is, I'm gonna have a simple groom. Something that doesn't require too much of stuff like this. That's still broken. Why? Why is that? I may have to rebuild this top groom. Like completely. Just rebuild it. Move these apart from each other, so I'm not going to have as many issues. Make the guides manually so they actually reach the end. So next stream I'll do a little bit of hair work at the front. and I mean that's better than it was at least. It's just not good enough yet. Either way, let's go to our front view. Render cam. Let's change the dome light to be facing the correct way. Come on, where are you? There you are. 137. Then we need to set the groom to be rendered correctly, which is 0.7 melanin. And then we need to set the skin to render with the actual skin textures. Let's turn diffuse to 0. Subsurface, set that to 1. Yeah, in the next stream, so I'm going to kick off this preview render. So, what we're going to do in the next stream. Next stream, this is pretty much the end of the stream, by the way. If you're not interested in the next stream, then you can leave at this point. So yeah, just going to talk about the next stream. So, obviously in this one we've had an obscene amount of difficulty, like way more than usual. Right until the very end I'm still having stuff go wrong. So, you know, for the sake of a 3-hour stream, we've made a decent amount of progress considering how much shit's gone wrong, but yeah, it's part of being a groom artist, is kind of part of the process. In terms of what we plan on doing in future streams, or in the next stream, so I want to work on the front view, because one of the things that we're missing at the moment is silhouette is completely wrong. Ours is a lot more jaggy. It's like triangles here, like little valleys and stuff, so I need to fix that. I also need to get this visible separation. Also, her hairline is way further forward than I give it credit for. It's like actually really far forward. So I need to do that. Get these hairs that kind of breaking away. And then once I've got those, I can kind of look back into doing the braids that are on top. I think I'm just going to rebuild them almost from scratch. I think it is worth building them from scratch, to be honest. So yeah, probably just do that. What's the word I'm looking for right now? This is where the O2 numbers come in, by the way. Is like we can do version 2 of the top braids, or the O1 and O2 numbers and stuff come in. But yeah, we'll need to rebuild that from scratch. I think I'll just do the guide work manually, the same way we did the stuff at the back. So let me get the previous render. Images, progression images. This is gonna look identical, I think. Yeah, we've got some seed changes, but other than that, it's identical hair. So yeah, this stream has been one of those where, like, progression-wise, it's gonna look like we've done nothing, but we've actually done quite a lot at the back. So I'm not too worried about that, because the final output of this project will be a part turntable, as in like it'll be like either just the front 45 degrees or 90 degrees, or I'll do all of the head but with 16 frame turntable. It's kind of like you would in the industry. You don't render perfectly smooth turntables all the time just because the render times are too slow. My render times for this character for semi-clean renders are like 40 minutes at 2K, which for a 90 frame turntable to get it actually smooth would be really, really painful. And I've just got the one machine. I don't want to hire a render farm or anything like that. But yeah, right. So I'm going to end the stream here, just because it's literally just I'm going to sit here now waiting for this render to finish. We'll do a lot of work tomorrow on the front, making it look a lot better. In fact, now actually, while we got that, we can compare. So you can see how we're missing this shape at the front completely. We're missing this shape quite a lot. Missing that one. The hairline in general feels like it needs to be pulled forward. This has like a huge divot here and here, whereas that should be like almost a perfectly straight line. So I need to figure out how that's even been achieved, because this gap here is two different sets of braids. I'm wondering if the hair at front here is kind of like flying between. Like maybe it would have a divot, but it doesn't because of this. We'll have to figure that out. The other side is working fine, silhouette wise. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's closer than the left side. So yeah, we'll have to do a bit of work on that. I think overall it's making progress. It's definitely a lot better than in any other digital I've done. Obviously not professionally, I've done way better than this so far, but in terms of personal projects, I'm pretty happy with it so far. So it's just a case of pushing it as far as we can before it gets to a point of diminishing returns being too much to bear. So I imagine there'll still be like another 10 or so streams, maybe even another 15 streams, I don't know. I imagine this project will go on for quite a while, so if you guys are getting bored of it, do let me know. One thing I've been debating doing is when projects start getting really long, like maybe one stream a week should be on a sketch, or maybe a dedicated like teaching stream. So if you guys want to like send in topics, if you want to learn like, you know, at least my approaches, like, you know, it's not perfect, but if you want to learn how I would approach rocks, or how I would approach afro hair, or how I would approach anything like that, or even just ZBrush sculpting some random stuff, I'd be happy to do that maybe one day a week, and that would like break up the streams and make it a bit more interesting, both for me and for you guys. So but yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching me suffer through all the bugs that we've had tonight. But yeah, I'll pick up tomorrow around the same time as today, so like 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. And we'll work on that front view and make it work a bit better. I also need to do some color correction to get these matching. Because she's actually too orange, we need her to be a little bit more white on the cheeks and the nose. So that's something that I'll need to do at some point soon. Also, the eye shape is wrong, but I can't pin quite what it is yet. Maybe it's this section here. In fact, yeah, it's that section there. This needs to be different. This needs to end here or something. That'll help a lot. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end the stream. Bye, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night.